What's up, ladies? Stephanie here again. Hope everyone's doing well and you're doing well with your builds in whatever state they might be in and whatever you're building at the moment. Hope the last video was helpful with the snap plates. I know that there's many different ways to do it. They're just very helpful, and I hope that helped the people that don't maybe have a local garrison or somebody they can reach out to just because of distance. I know that a lot of us aren't lucky and don't live in huge metro areas where you can find 10 or 12 people within a few miles. So hopefully those help people like you that are just looking online and looking for how you can do things. Just want to go over one thing about the previous video. I do want to make a correction. I did say rivet a couple of times. That's really just a throwback to the fact that I use leather a lot and use a lot of rivets. So just ignore that. If I said rivet, I meant snap. That's just leather brain talking. So what we want to go over today, if Gnarly's going to let us, he's decided to join us with his squeaky toy. What we want to go over today is just kind of how the corset goes together and where you're going to start. Now, I will show you kind of the whole assembly on one side, but we're just going to focus on the corset itself because I've had a couple of questions about elastic and where the snap plates go. Also, keep in mind the snap plates are going to go in slightly different places. Try everything on. Painter's tape, the blue painter's tape is actually your best friend. It's very easy to position things and move them around and kind of figure out where they sit. So definitely use that. Don't just go full speed ahead into it because you might regret it later. You might end up taking too much off of a piece, which is fixable, but is kind of a pain in the butt. So if you don't have to do that, don't. So I want to start with just materials today. I previously touched on it in my other video. This is the 3-inch black elastic that I was talking about. You can get it online, Joann's, Hancock. As I said before, you might have a little difficulty finding it in stores local to you, but you definitely can order it. It is just regular 3-inch elastic. This is what I'm going to use to attach the corset on one side and also the butt plate on the back. You're also going to need the 1-inch elastic. I used both white and black. You're going to use the white in places where you might see it a little bit on the armor. Use the black in places where you don't want it to be seen against your black undersuit. And like I said, we'll go over kind of where everything goes and attaches, but for now we're just going to kind of focus on the corset, the midsection itself. I say corset just because I mess with a lot of corsets. I really don't know if there's a correct term for it, but that's what I'm going to call it just for argument's sake. So here's mine. And what I've actually done is I just took my belt off. The belt is right here. It's just Velcroed. And again, as I said before, there's many different ways to do this. This is just how I did it and how it was taught to me to do it. So if you have a better way, by all means, please let me know. So my corset piece is actually Velcroed together on one side. I'm sorry, elastic on one side and then snaps on the other. So the snap plates that we made in our last video, which are these right here, are on my right side. Again, personal preference. If you want to put them on your left side because it's easier for you, go ahead. So what I've done on this side, what you're going to do in the beginning is you're going to have somebody help you. I suppose you could do this by yourself, but it would be incredibly hard. So grab a friend, grab a relative, grab a roommate, whoever it is that you need to help you, and have them help you. Once you've got these trimmed down, and when I say trim down, I just mean removing the excess pieces from the vacuform. You want to hold it up to yourself. And I'm going to show you how to do this. So again, what you're going to want to do is hold this front piece and just position it in a place that feels comfortable to you. It should be right underneath the breast, but it also shouldn't be digging into your crotch either. So make sure that it's comfortable. And when this is comfortable, hold it on the front. Have a friend grab this back piece, which at the time isn't going to have a thermal detonator, isn't going to have your belt Velcro to it, or your butt plate. It's just going to be this piece and this piece. And what you want to do is line them up on the side at the top. Very important because at the bottom they're not going to line up properly. So always start them from the top. And you're just going to have somebody mark some lines for you. Now, good idea to leave about 1 inch. Mine overlaps about 1 inch on the inside and the outside, and that's just so you can't see any of the black undersuit through it. You should have a uniform white look all the way around with this midsection. So once you've got that done, what you're going to want to do is go back in, and you're going to want to use Velcro. Now, with this particular piece, it's CA glue. So it's really glued here and glued here. And if you're worried about gluing the elastic to the actual ABS, don't worry. It's very easy, and I'll just show you how easy it is. It's just, you do have to apply some pressure, but it will come off. So you can reposition it. It's a little bit difficult. You don't want to break the armor, but it will come off, so you can. So once you've got these two pieces, front and back, lined up, they're going to fit on you properly. You're going to go back on the other side, not the elastic side, and you're going to apply these snap plates. And this is what I showed you before, how to make the snap plates. You just take one, and again, these are the male ends. So you're going to put one here at the top, one here at the bottom. On the back side, these are actually just glued with that CA glue. Is a piece of 1-inch elastic with the female end. So what it's going to do is snap together. Now, I did it in such a way that the front overlaps the back. I don't really know if the CRL has a guideline there, but as you can see, I do have a very small overlap. Mine's about a 1/2 inch. I'd say start with 1 inch just to be safe. So once you have those two pieces together, this is what they're going to look like. It's going to be different from all of us because we're all different sizes. At that point, what you're going to want to do is put the butt piece on. Now, if you can see from the side, the butt piece does not sit flat with everything. It is going to have a curve outward. And just to kind of share a little background, one of my fears with this was that my butt wasn't going to fit into it. As I said before, I'm a little bit on the larger side of the scale of what this armor fits, and I've seen many an armor. You would think that it looks a little weird and it feels a little weird when it sits up a bit. It looks great. It's in your head. Don't worry about it. So once you've got this positioned in about the right place, now one of the important things to remember is that this is not going to sit flat. This part of the butt plate, the very top, is not going to be an even joint with the back. Now the reason for this is because it needs to move a little back and forth, and this end piece is actually going to slide up under. You're not going to see any of this when the belt goes over the top of it, and it's just going to give you a little more mobility. You don't want to glue these together. Again, you just want to use the elastic. You can see that mine has 3 pieces, one in the middle, one on the left, one on the right, and those are actually just glued right onto the armor again. So once you've got these 3 pieces assembled, you can move on to the thermal detonator if you want. I would recommend waiting. I would also recommend waiting on the belt. We can cover the belt in a future tutorial, but for now, we're just going to pretend that the belt's not on here. And like I said, you can see that I have detached the front of my belt as well. So once you get these pieces, it's completely up to you where you want to start. I'd start up top. The reason for this hourglass shape that it gives you, in most people, is going to keep it from slipping. Here's mine. And as you can see, here's where the other snap plates go. See if I can get kind of close so you can see this. This is the male snap plate. There's one here, one here, one here, and one here. So there's 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. With the corset on, you're going to want to have somebody stand behind you and mark about where this should sit. It should be over the lip of the bottom because you don't want any gap right here. Same thing goes with the front. Don't worry about right here, just find out what's right here first. And then once you figure out how it needs to sit on the bottom, then you'll kind of figure out how much space you should leave at the top. Once you have fitted this piece and this piece, just make sure you mark it on the sides here, because you're going to have, well, I'll show you on this side. You're going to actually just use Velcro for this piece. What it's going to do is it's going to Velcro together. Again, I have about maybe an inch gap here, and that's just to keep it a little bit adjustable. And you want to make sure that the front overlaps the back. So when I put this all together, the easiest way that I find to do it is to have somebody hold my back plate in the right position, and I will actually take the front piece, which is Velcroed, and then just position it where I think it should go. Now, personally, I don't have any problems with this piece slipping up over the corset. I know that some people do. Some people have added snap plates on the inside here, and then on the back here and here to keep it from shifting up and down. So that's one thing that you can do. And again, nothing's written in stone. This is just kind of hints, tips, and tricks to help you along your way. So once you've got the shoulder straps, and I'll actually take one of these off to show you. Right in the middle, you're going to want to put a piece of Velcro, pardon me. This is so that you can Velcro the shoulder bells to it during assembly when you're putting it on. That's actually all the shoulder bells are held on by is Velcro. The rest of it is basically gravity and or nowhere else to go. So this is where 4 of your snap plates are going to be used. Here is one of the shoulder bells. This, I believe, is in the CRL as part of a required piece. It's just this black armband. Your arm will go inside of it, and this will just Velcro to the top. I'm a little bit longer of the arm, so mine's probably a little bit deeper here than it would be on most of the ladies. Mine's probably, I would say 30% longer here, just because I've shifted it down a bit. I'm very tall, so it didn't fit me properly, and there was a big gap at my shoulder, in my elbow, where that was. So that's your shoulder bell. This is, again, just elastic. This is the black 1 inch. It's CA glued here with Velcro here. Now, as far as snap plates go, you're going to use 2 more, and they're going to be here to hold the thighs. So here is one of my thighs. This is actually my right thigh, and you can tell by the curve on the inside. It's a bit lower to allow for that little cod piece. This is where my elastic is seated, and I've got a female snap here. Now when the armor is on, this female snap goes up underneath my corset and just attaches. Helps to keep it on. And this is just kind of a quick overview of the costume. This is my left arm. I had to think about it for a second and look at it. This is actually just going to go on your arm just like this. Make sure you don't make it too small that you can't get your arm through it, and it just stays on there. Now mine has foam in it right here, like I think many people's does. Many ladies finally use it, and that just keeps it from slipping around, but you're not going to have to attach this to anything, so that can just be as is. Okay, so snap plates and where to put them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're just going to put it all together now. So we're going to pretend that I still have my belt on the front, even though I don't. And we're going to put it on. It's very easy to put it on. Again, I like to have somebody to help me just because it's easier to get the back plate to sit right, but you can do it by yourself. I've seen ladies do that. This is the difficult part. It's just finding that snap on the inside. Once you find it, you're good. Once you've got this piece on, make sure it fits right. Make sure the sides of your butt are tucked in. You really don't have a specific order that you have to put these on in. This is my right thigh. Just because I'm standing up, I'm going to go ahead and put it on this way. Right thigh, held on by the elastic. I'm actually just going to find that snap plate. You can't see them, but there's one here and one here. I positioned them in this particular spot just because that's how my body is made. So you're going to find that snap plate. And this is easily the most difficult part of putting it on, in my opinion, is finding these stupid plates under here. Alright, so that side's secure. Shouldn't go anywhere. Should stay. I've got a little bit of give too. So I'm actually pulling on the elastic right now. As I move, there's no way I'm going to have this much mobility with the costume on, but at least you have the option. So use elastic here, black so that you can't see it. I realize I am wearing a grayish t-shirt. Just ignore that. So when you've got your leg pieces on, you can move on to the chest and the back. Now, as I said, this is where the snap plates are great and handy because you can just unsnap it and put it on. Now I'm going to snap the top first. And as I said, really useful to have somebody hold this and look and spot me. I'm going to see if I can do this by myself. Just going to make sure that I'm over this lip. Pull it down. Grab my Velcro. And then I'm just going to position the front like it should go, again, over the lip. Now, don't worry if you have a little more gap or a little less gap. Some of the shorter ladies, it's going to come all the way down and maybe even overlap this. It's possible. Some of the ladies are going to be at the very top like me. Now you can see that it's not very tight and I have a little bit of a gap here. That's where the snap plates would come in handy here. Or where a handler, somebody that could help me dress, could push this just a little bit tighter to make sure that this doesn't happen. The Velcro is going to hold, don't worry about it. So once we've got our midsection all on, you're going to want to take your shoulder bells right here. And remember, we've got pieces of Velcro underneath the elastic right here. So these are really both exactly the same. This is the left, so I'm going to put it on the left. I'm going to put on my shoulder, get it in the right spot. And then I'm just going to take this piece. And I would recommend CA gluing as well, this Velcro. This is actually sticky back Velcro, but I glued it down anyway just as a secondary precaution, and I haven't regretted it. So you're going to want to go ahead and just Velcro that in place. And you're all set. So I have kind of some mismatching pieces going on, but this is how it's going to go together. I believe I have the left arm again. Yes, I do. This piece is just going to slide on. Just like that. The shoulder straps, most people glue these on. I actually did not glue it on yet because I don't really know how aesthetically I think it should look. I've seen many different ways. I just put a piece of Velcro on it. You can't see the Velcro right here because it's white. And I just Velcro it down. I have for now until I really settle on where I want it placed. They also are a little bit brittle, so I would definitely recommend seating it, playing with it, maybe using Velcro, because Velcro is very easy to get off of the ABS. You just peel it off and then just kind of clean it a little bit with something non-abrasive or what's the word I'm looking for, that won't break down plastic. So yeah, so this is general assembly where things like Velcro, elastic, and such are going to go together. The belt is actually Velcroed as well. We can do a tutorial about how to assemble the belt pieces, but just for argument's sake and to show you right now, the belt's just seated in there and Velcroed. My belt never comes off my corset piece. It stays on, and I just take it on and off with the snaps. So just to kind of show you again where everything goes, arm. This is Velcroed, very easy to get off. That's what your assembly should generally look like on the inside with the shoulder bells. Leg, simple snap. Velcro on the sides. Just kind of carefully pull it off. Snaps up top. Elastic on the left. Velcro on the right. Elastic on the left. Snaps on the right. I've really got to get better at that. So, unsnap, unsnap, and you're free. Again, simple. All right, so hopefully that helped a little bit with just the general assembly and where things are gonna fit. If you have any more questions, leave them in the comments. If you have any better methods, please leave them in comments to pass them on to the other ladies, because that's the purpose of this video, like I said, is to help people that maybe don't have those resources really close to them. Or if you're like me, I'm a visual person, I'd like to see it. It's kind of hard when you're reading through a forum thread and it says, well, do this to A to B to C, and it's not as visual and in the process. So if it helped, yay. If not, let me know too, so I'm not wasting my time making videos, but I've actually really enjoyed passing on the knowledge. Once more, big shout out to my friends here in the Georgia Garrison who have taught me how to do this. This is not something that I researched personally. It was shown to me. The methods are definitely not mine, but they are something I feel like should be shared and passed along. So you ladies have a great evening, and I will talk to you again soon.